So for people who are new to sort of sea fishing, we'll start with like a surf fishing reel, a top end one. Now this one here, where my cursor is, it says Dawia Millionaire 7HT Mag ST, over 400 quid. Let's just click on it and see what we're dealing with. So obviously a multiplier. If you're not used to casting them, you can see this is a right hand retrieve. This dial on here, that engages the spool here, that releases the spool so you can cast. So you press that button in and then basically you cast it. I've got some casting videos on my channel as well, but mainly this is sort of an assessment of sort of what I would consider as sort of good reels to sort of to go for. These are sea fishing reels, so this reel can be used on a boat. It can be, it's designed to fish from the shore, okay, for surf casting, but you can use it on a boat, you can use it on the rocks, you can use it from a pier, you can use it where you like. All I would say is if you are taking it on the rocks, don't scratch it, because it's a beautiful reel, it's a top end reel, it's a tournament casting reel. So anyway, this one in particular has got 9 bearings, okay, and it's got a capacity of 300 metres at 0.35 millimetres. So the old saying with these kind of reels for distance casting is that you don't want to fill the spool right to the top, you want to bring it down a little bit, probably where my cursor is there. And that helps to assist with like overrun and stuff like that. Now on the side here it's got some brakes designed in there. Obviously you can see this reel's out of stock. It's a beautiful reel, it's very light. And it's an ultimate long-range beach reel. I own the one down from this, and it's very similar. It has a magnifuge in there. Basically, it's got magnets, so it has an impact on the brakes, which are inside here with your casting. It's designed to be an out-of-the-box sort of tournament casting reel. It's completely overkill for a lot of beach fishing applications. However, if your passion is just one rod, one reel and one hook, then I would, this is the sort of thing you can sort of spend your money on. But they're not invincible. You don't want to bang them around. They're nice. This would be nice and light. You can spin fish with this sort of reel for like salmon and trout and things like that in rivers. It's nice and light. So it's very well designed, and we've got some other pictures of it there, and you can see the brake there. Millionaire 7HT Mag. They've been doing these for years, these reels, and this one has been particularly designed based upon the UK anglers really. But I'll show you the sister reel. And I have this one here, and it's just got one handle. One thing I would say about this particular reel, I've had it for about, 12 years now. Yeah, it's been about 12 years, 12, 13 years. The handle here, it's wiggles a little bit. It's worn a little bit loose. But again, it's got a magnet dial. It's a brilliant sort of reel, same capacity, Retrieve 581. Well, it's lightweight. What else has it got? 6 bearings, magnifuge. So yeah, and again, it's a long-range beach reel. It's quite expensive, and I've actually used this rock fishing up at £40 braid on it, catching species overseas, and it held up to the task completely. Mind you, I did have the drag on full, £40 line. And there's one particular species of fish called the kingfish that kept taking line. There's nothing I can do about it. So it wasn't really designed for it, but with me putting my thumb on the spool, I managed to sort of put a halt to the fish doing that run. So there's other things you can do to sort of, but that's a nice reel. Mine's still going strong. Like I say, it's getting a little bit wiggly here. Probably I could do with sort of sending it away for a bit of a service, really. But so they're sort of top end reels. And one thing I'd say for anybody who's looking to buy reels and you're new to sea fishing, there's quite a lot you can waste your money on. It's like I'll go straight down there. I'll go right at the bottom of the list. These things, I mean, Shakespeare are quite a good sort of a company for sort of producing in tackle and fishing rods and things like that, which are in the budget sort of range. If you just want to go out there and just sort of mess around, or just want to buy a kit for holiday, then something like this will do. But even good makes like Abu, they make a budget range. I mean, they're passable, but they're very, there's like you want to be spending a bit more money really. I would say I wouldn't go any lower than £100 for a reel, a multiplier reel. Tronics Pro Gorilla, I mean, I wouldn't go anywhere near it. I'm not literally sort of targeting these brands, but I can tell that they're, by the price and the fact that they're new to it, that they're sort of specific to the bottom end of the market, and I don't think that they perform that well, or they would hold out that well. But yeah, I generally, I mean, the minimum I would go for is probably £100 on my first reel, if I was brutally honest. Now, these two reels here, the Dawia SL30 and the SL20 Slosh, they've been around for quite a while. Let's start with the Slosh. What we got here? Oh, website we've blocked. What's that? I don't know what the hell that's all about. So I'll click on it again, and here we're back. So this one here, it says here that perfect for beach, rock, boat, and uptide. Now, for someone who's looking to start out, right, and they don't want to spend too much money, this is what I would be telling you to go to. And it's it's a very basic, simple design. It's reasonably robust, reasonably fast retrieve. You can get quite a chunky bit of line on it, 0.40mm. It's been so long since I've actually used that sort. I'm trying to think what it is. It's like £20 line or something like that on there. But you want to be sort of putting about sort of £18, £15 line for beach fishing, I assume. And it's got a power handle, centrifugal brakes, the legendary slosh. So I mean that'd be something I would sort of go for if you're starting out. And you can get a slightly bigger version as well. Good for uptiding. Now, another good reel, another good company is Shimano. These reels here, these ones, the TLD and the TR 2000, and I think the Charter Special, they're old school reels, but they're the same sort of cost, and they're really well made, really robust. They'll last you until the day you die. I'm telling you, as long as you don't physically pick them up and keep throwing them on the floor, they'll last you forever. And obviously you wouldn't do that, so you've got them for life. But I've had this one before, and this one here, calling it a boat reel, it is a bit heavy, 5 to 7 grams. And when I was a young man and I had one of these, I thought that was the best reel I ever owned. You can use that for pretty much anything, really. You really could. I'm talking real big fish, sharks, tunas, you name it. Down to your sort of you drifting over wrecks, bottom fishing for conger. It's a boat reel. It's a UK boat reel. Robust as hell, smooth. It's got a lot of power. You can push this lever drag right the way forward. And it's talking about 490 yards of £20 nylon. But yeah, I mean, you should put like £30 braid on it and use that. It's quite fast retrieve as well. So what does it say here? Makes a good choice when down tides fishing for large fish or for deep water drift fishing. So there you go. So I'm looking at reels which wouldn't be spent. Now this one here, that one's got a what's it called? Oh, it's been a while since I've used one of these. That's a line lay. I can't remember the correct name for it. Anyway, weight 465 grams. That's quite heavy. That's quite a heavy thing. So you've got to bear that in mind when you're buying these reels. If you're holding the reel all day, even quite a little reel like this, that's ever so heavy, but it just shows you how well made it is and how long it's going to last. So anyway, so there's capacity, 40 nylon, 421, a line out alarm ratchet. Okay, so it's got a little ratchet, making noise when the fish nicks your bait. And to do level wind, there it is, strengthened level wind. So your line will go through this and it'll lay the line for you. So you haven't got to worry about that while you're fishing. So it might, if you're new to fishing, that might make life easier for you. And again, good price. And it lasts you forever. You see, it's worth paying the extra, so you can see these reels here. They'll do the same thing, but for an extra 35 quid, you can get something which will really, really stand the test of time, and it's literally bomb proof. I'm telling you, these reels here are bomb proof. All right, and I wouldn't recommend these for beach fishing, just boat fishing. But these ones here, these SL20s and SL30SH, they're a cheap beach, pier, rock multiplier, which will stand the test of time as well. They're good ones. It says top seller there, but 30. I'd go for the smaller one, the 20. Be a bit lighter. So you can scroll through all here. The Abus. I notice they don't do the Abus 6500 anymore on this particular website. But that was a good beach reel as well. But this one here, this is like an uptide boat sort of reel. These ones here, the Abu 7001C and the Abu 7000, they've been going for like 30, 40 years. And these things here, for drifting over wrecks, for cod and pollock and all your boat fishing, uptide and things like that. I wouldn't necessarily recommend a level wind for uptide fishing, but I think you'll be okay with it. I think it's it just goes up and down crazy when you cast. So they're good for uptide. They're good for boats. Good boat fishing. Let's just flick on the 7000. What does it say? Oh dear, we got talk being all funny. All right. What we got? We got latest version of the all-time classic. Can be used from shore or boat. From fishing from the shore, I wouldn't recommend having the level wind because I think it slows it down to a certain degree. It's an ever so heavy reel, look, 608 grams. All right, it's built like a brick shit house, but it's it's a bit like the Shimano, it's a bit like the Dawia. I mean, this is a well-made reel. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You've got to pay the extra yard to get something which is a lot nicer to use, a lot smoother. Maybe on the heavy side. These reels I'm talking about, these are old school reels. They're on the heavy side. The TLD 25, that's a lot bigger reel. You see, it's got these hooks in here. Ever so heavy. These 700 gram that power handle. That's for real, like a monster tuna or something. Or like halibut fishing or something like that in Norway, something like that. So I'm just scrolling through. Now, we touched on sort of the weight of reels. I'm a little bit alarmed. Those reels I've discussed with them, mainly for boat fishing, they're very heavy. But you could use like a beach surf caster and bring it on the boat, and for me, you'd be fine drifting over wrecks and using that with like £20 braid. So this is a bit more expensive, and this is a pen. This is Penn's version of having a magnetics. The weight of it, 434 grams. That's quite a lot for me. 132. So yeah, I mean, I personally, out of between Dawia, Abu, and is there another one? No, Dawia and Abu. This would be my third choice brand. So, but that's just me. I've mainly only ever bought Penn for boat fishing. So I don't know what they're like. But for me, it would be a top quality reel. And like I say, I've not sort of tested it. I've not sort of used it, but I'm just going on what I see when I select to buy a reel. A lot of people buy these, and it'll be fine. I'm just old school. I go with the reels which were before this, if you know what I'm saying, because I've been doing it a fair while, 35 years. Stuff like that. These reels have relatively been on the scene for maybe 20 years, not quite 20 years, I would say. That's where the reels I've used have probably been around. The original models of them are sort of 40 years old. So, and I'll go to one of them in a minute if one just shows itself. Akios, I'll come back to them. The reel I'm talking about, it says again, Dawia Millionaire 719. Now, they developed this one. This has been going for 40 years, this reel. And I don't know the weight of it. First appeared in the early 1990s. I think it was before that. Long cast and beach reel to use 15-pound line over clean or light rough. Still worth considering. Yeah, so with a lot of those reels, you might be looking to buy them with a view that they've got a very quick retrieve, which is going to be able to hoik it in. As where this has got probably 5-2-1 retrieve, a bit slower, 3 ball bearings. Now this reel here, this is a tournament casting reel. It's 170 quid, and you can. Some people can cast literally, on a tournament with it, in a tournament with it, and break some, create some amazing distances and things like that. And you could also use it off a boat, a rock, this, that, and the other. It hasn't got the magnetics. It's just a sort of a more of a what has it got? It's just got 3 stainless steel ball bearings. It's got aluminium bronze gears with centrifugal anti-backlash control, mechanical brake system with 2 sizes of blocks provided. So it's just like a dial, and it's just got some mechanical brakes. So you just select it on, as where the magnets on the one up from this and the other one, they will adjust. Do you know what I'm saying? They'll ebb and flow. As where it is what it is with it. I do know for a fact that this reel would cast probably just as far as those other 2 reels in the right hands. So it's a seriously good reel. And it's quite, I know for a fact it's quite light. I notice he's not got a weight on there on this one. But if you went on Google, you better find the weight of that. Better don't weigh a lot. So anyway, there's some beach reels for you. These ones here, this 6500 C3, I mean, this strikes me more as like a bait casting sort of reel. I may be wrong, not so much off the beach. And these ones here are sort of modern, sort of this Pen Fathom 2 thing is more of a sort of a, if we go to the 20, I'll go to the 20 first. That's 20 ounces. So that's a heavy reel. Do you know what I'm saying? 20 ounces. So when you're buying these things, if you've gone on a charter boat, sometimes you'll be like holding the thing all day. So you've got to weigh up. You don't want to go too clumsy for what you're doing. So all I would say is, depending on what you want it for, whether you want to have the full Monty and have everything, you can spend a lot of money and have a reel for each different sort of application, or whether you want to try and wing it on something, a lot lighter and a lot just have one-off expense, so to speak. It just depends. There's lots of different styles of fishing where you need different types of gear, but you can get away with it with some other stuff. So you ain't got to go and buy a rod and reel for every sort of application. You might be able to sort of buy, say for boat fishing, like a 20 or 30 pound class rod with a sort of a medium reel and do the whole lot of it. Do your mackerel fishing, do your bottom for conger, do your sort of flying collar stuff for cod, do your drifting for turbot with it. Do you know what I'm saying? You can do the whole lot off that one rod and reel. So it's quite a sort of diverse sort of topic, really. And then you go top end like this, where we're in the Azores somewhere, and we're on a bloody sports boat chasing after bloody marlin and tunas and you name it. It just totally depends on what you want to go for. As with regards to brands, Pen for boat rod, for boat reels, fine. Same with Shimano. Dawia, I've always generally steered clear of Dawia for boat reels. Fin-Nor, never owned one. Never really thought much about them when they came on the scene. However, looking at the price that they are, I would imagine they're quite reasonable. What's it say here? They're almost a bit like a Shimano or something, aren't they? Ever so heavy. My God. Fast retrieve. Twin speed for lever drag boat reel. So we've got a twin speed heavy duty lever drag boat reel there. Right, twin speed. Talking about £25 nylon, 814 grand. I mean, you can get that charter special was like 119 quid, and that would do that job easy. Do you know what I'm saying? You can go overboard and and spend a lot of money on these things. You've got to be pretty certain that's what you want. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like so. Anyway, we're still on boat rails. So I've pretty much. I'm just trying to see if there's any other makes which have crept in there. I don't think there is. I think that's pretty much all it is for boat. So for beach, my number one would be Dawia, no question about that. The Dawia reels. Um, I would say closely followed behind by Abu, who used to develop the Abu 6500 CT Mag Elite. I don't see that on here. I don't know if they're sort of not doing them anymore or not doing so many. That's a seriously good reel. What else is there? Like I say, pen wouldn't be my preferred choice for a beach reel. It really wouldn't. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I just think there's better reels for the money on the market, if I'm brutally honest. Or I'd rather pay more money and have a Dawia. That's as simple as that. Achios, don't know anything about them. For me, they're a little bit. They're probably quite reasonable actually, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know too much about them really. Magnetic cast control. So it's almost like a cheapish magnetic brake sort of rail. So you get like what the Dawia is for like nearly, I don't know, 250, 300 quid, whatever it is, and you're getting it for sort of half the value of that. It's sort of competing with the Dawia Mags, magnetic cast control. 60 Achios. Yeah, I mean, a tackle dealer would say they're wonderful, but I mean, yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that they'd be that good. I'm old school. I stick to what I know is good. And for me, if you're after a beach rail, it's the 7HT. If you ain't got a lot of money, and if you can afford it, I would go for Dawia Millionaire 7HT Mag, if that was me. And if you could really afford one extra, I'd go this one here, the 7HT Mag ST. I'm not being funny. That's like spacecraft sort of design. It's absolutely. It's how it feels when you use it. It's just beautiful, and it gives you more confidence when you're fishing. It makes you want to get up and go fishing. That's for sure. When you spend more money on your gear, that makes you want to get up and use it because you know how lovely it is to use, even if you're not catching fish. If you buy crap gear, you'll go, oh, I can't be bothered. Go down there. Do you know what I'm saying? So, right.